Good morning, one and all. This is Vinayaka Kumar, Assistant Professor of English from Sadasipet Government Degree College, Sangareddy District. Today I would like to explain the poem along with summary. The title of the poem is Life. When we think about the title of the poem Life, most of us have different imaginations, different opinions, different ideas, and different feelings. Let's see what Charlotte Bronte expresses, feels about the poem Life. Before I am getting into the poem Life, I took some quotations from eminent persons. Here I have a quotation from Dalai Lama. The purpose of our lives is to be happy. Naturally, everyone wants to be very happy in their lives with more comforts and desires to be fulfilled. And I have one more quotation. When life gives you 100 reasons to break down and cry, show life that you have 1,000,000 reasons to smile and laugh. Stay strong. I repeat, when life gives you 100 reasons to break down and cry, every one of us have so many problems in our lives. And there are 100 reasons in breakdown. And when we fail, naturally we'll cry. But show life that you have 1,000,000 reasons to smile and laugh with all the difficulties that which you come across in your life. You must learn to smile and laugh. And I have one more quotation here. It is from Mahatma Gandhi. We all know Mahatma Gandhi, the great freedom fighter from India. And the only weapon he has is non-violence. So what he tells about life, happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. Unless we will be happy, our life will be happy. And when you share happiness among others, you will be in harmony. I repeat, happiness is when what you think, see, the way of thinking is also very important for us. And what you say, yes, and what you do. Think, say, and do, all these come in harmony, which leads to happiness in our life. And I have one more quotation from Henry Guide. Life travels upward in spirals. He who takes pains to search the shadows of the past below us, then can better judge the tiny arc up which he climbs, more surely guess the dim curves of the future above him. I repeat, life travels upward in spirals. No one's life, while he is moving towards the goal or the destiny, it will not be like a highway. There are so many circles, so many crossroads, so many speed breakers, so many ditches. We have to overcome them. And who takes pains to search in shadows of the past below us? I mean, when one particular individual moving towards the goal, he need to search for the problems that he has to face. Then can better judge the tiny arc up which he climbs, where he is going, how he is going. That is very important. More surely guess the dim curves of the future above him. If you are going in a direction, for example, if you come across any problems and difficulties, by fearing or getting scared about from these problems and difficulties, if you turn back, that is not the life. You won't reach to the best place in your future. So in our lives, there are many, 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 many curves that we have to bear. Unless we should have a positive thinking in our mind, in our feelings. What Charlotte Bronte expresses in the poem Life. Now, this is Madam Charlotte Bronte. I'll give details of her. Before getting into the details of biographical details of Charlotte Bronte, I'll read the poem line by line. Life, believe, is not a dream so dark as sages say. Of a little morning rain foretells a pleasant day. Sometimes there are clouds of gloom, but these are transient all. If the shower will make the roses bloom, oh, why lament its fall? Rapidly, merrily, life's sunny hours flit by. Gratefully, cheerily, enjoy them as they fly. What though death at times steps in and calls our best away? What though sorrow seems to win, or hope a heavy sway? Yet hope again elastic springs, unconquered. Though she fell, still buoyant are her golden wings, still strong to bear us well, manfully, fearfully, the day of trial bear, for gloriously, victoriously can courage quell despair. Before getting into the summary of the poem, I would like to give a brief biography of Charlotte Bronte. The poem Life by Charlotte Bronte is about the optimism of the poet. Bronte wrote the poem under her pseudonym Queerer Bell. The rhyme scheme of the poem is ABAB, accept, rain, and dream. The poem is divided into three stanzas consisting of 8, 4, and 12 lines respectively. In this poem, Bronte uses rain to serve as a metaphor for gloom, despair, and even death. I'll come to the poem once again. Now, we'll discuss in brief what life is. Life, if we want to discuss with some examples from so many different types of people, either based on their profession, student life, occupation life, job life, labor life, business life. There are many types of life in this universe. If we ask a labor what is life, he will give some sort of example. He feels very pessimistic in his answer. If I ask a student, he tells why is this study, why is this exams, he tells in some other way. If we tend to ask a politician what his life means, he tells in some other way. And if I ask any of the person who works in software company what life means, and every time he is busy with system and the programs whatever he has. My intention is I am trying to say that the definition of life varies from person to person, individual to individual. But here, the optimistic concept which was given by Charlotte Bronte is very much heart touching. If I take the example, I want to go the second line. The life is not a dream, so dark as sages say. What sages say about the life? Why this all family life? Why don't we go there to Himalayas and settle there and do meditation someday? From their point of view, the definition of life is different. But when we come to third line, often the OFTEN made into short often, a little morning rain foretells a pleasant day. I don't know how many of you in this rainy season trying to get up before sunrise. If early morning, if you are experiencing a pleasant rain, it tells about a sunny day. Will come to this word in next other lines. A morning rain, a pleasant atmosphere in the morning, which tells about the pleasant day throughout the day. From morning to evening. But see the fifth line. Sometimes there are clouds of gloom. Sometimes there are clouds of gloom when there is beautiful sunrise on the sky or in the sky. The clouds will come and cover the sun. But even the clouds are not permanent in the sky. These are transient, means they are temporary, momentary. I would like to give an example. The problems which come across in our lives, they are temporary, not permanent. We have to overcome them. If the shower will make the roses bloom, oh, why lament its fall? Because in this rainy season, every one of us, we expect more number of rains, more rains. The farmer expects rain, and the people expect rain because without water we can't survive in this universe. So if the shower will make the roses bloom, why lament its fall? When rain is giving life to most for the complete universe, why we fear about the rain? Rapidly, merrily, life's sunny hours flit by. Slowly, slowly, the merriment, the enjoy, the happiness, and the overjoy of the rain will be filled in our feelings. That is sunny hours. And we have to, thankful to the God. See the word gratefully, cheerily, enjoy them as they fly. What though death at times steps in, we can't say when the death will come. In the present pandemic panic situation, most of the people in their homes or outside, when they are struggling for their life, for survival and struggle in their existence, they are fearing about death. What we can't say when, from which angle the death will overcome us. And calls our best way. Though we are in a best mood, best living, we can't expect when the death will come. What though sorrow seems to win over hope a heavy sway. From the sorrow, from the sorrow, we can learn so many things in our life. Struggle, sorrow teaches a lesson, not the happiness teaches a lesson. When we are striving, when we are struggling, when you are fighting with the life, the the tragic stories, the problems will teach a lesson, not happy. So what though sorrow seems to win over hope and heavy sway, yet hope again elastic springs. Every step, every line, there is an optimistic verse that used by Charlotte Bronte. At hope again elastic springs means when we feel when problems will arise in our life, to be or not to be, to do or not to do, and in which route I have to go. and in which direction I take my decision, what to do after degree. These are the problems that the youth will face. But unconquered though she fell, still buoyant are her golden wings. Still, the when you have a positive way of thinking in your life, you must feel that you have wings. In one of the book I read that a man without imagination, nothing to fit in this world. A man with a good imagination, he has golden wings to fly. So please be positive in your decisions and be determinative in your destinations. Still, strong to bear as well, manfully, fearfully. Again, to repeat, whatever the problems that we are coming across, we have to face them with that strong determination. See, the poetess use the words manfully and fearlessly, courageously, with the strong determination. That day of trial bear, for gloriously, victoriously can courage quell despair. When we are taking a decision with a determination, whatever the despair which come across, the way of thinking in a positive way, it overcomes. And here, the day of trial bear means this reference to the Christianity, and that there is a second coming of Jesus. On that day, we must all we must all be to praise gloriously and victoriously on that day, that courage which makes us to reach any destination, any aim in our life. And this is the poem. And again, I come to the in detail description. Early in the poem, she remarks that morning rain can lead to a pleasant day. She adds that since rain makes the flower bloom, we should not be gloomy or sad when the rain does fall. As the poem continues, Bronte uses the metaphor to address human concerns. I already mentioned in the poem while discussing. This is again, I am trying to repeat. I read this sentence. Bronte uses the metaphor to address human concerns. At times, the rain will fall. Likewise, there will be times when humans must deal with death. I already mentioned we can't expect how the death will overtake us. There will be times when sorrow seems to win over hope. To repeat, I already mentioned, sorrow seems to win over hope. Sorrows will teach a lesson in life, but not the happiness. However, just as sunny days and blooming flowers follow the rain, hope and happiness will follow such sorrowful times. See the sentence. Just as sunny days and blooming flowers follow the rain, hope and happiness go in parallel, will follow such sorrowful times. And to repeat once again, in stanza 1, the poet begins with the word life, which is the title of the poem. It emphasizes the fact that the poet is all about the life. The poem is all about the life. According to the poet, we should believe that life is not a dream so dark as they just say. It means the life is not as bad as most of the people believe and say. I already explained, I took some examples. There are so many types of examples that we can quote. I already mentioned, if we ask what is life to a labor person, he gives some other example. If it's a small comparison, if he asks what is life to a poor man, he gives an example, and if he asks a rich man, he gives some other example. But here, the life is not as bad as most of the people believe and say. Often, a little morning rain foretells a pleasant day. The term morning rain is a metaphor which symbolizes sorrow and despair. The line means that despair is often a way to joy and happiness, like morning rain, which leads to a pleasant day. I already mentioned. The line means that despair is often a way to joy, a way to joy. Without despair, you will not know the meaning of happiness. And happiness is like morning rain, which leads to a pleasant day. Sometimes there are clouds of gloom, but these are transient all. Yes, there are clouds of gloom, but they are temporary, which means there are sorrows and griefs in the life of every human being, but they are not permanent. They are always temporary and short lived. To repeat, the life of every human being, but they are not permanent. What not permanent? Sorrows and griefs are not permanent. They are short lived and they are temporary. In the final line of the first stanza, the poet raises a rhetorical question: if the shower will make the roses bloom, oh, why lament its fall? When rain is coming, why we should feel sorry? Why we should feel bad? The rain will give shower to the fields, to the roses to bloom, and it is very important in the universe to have a water. Without water, we can't live in this on this earth. It means that if rain can make the rose bloom, then why should we mourn over its fall? In other words, sorrow leads to happiness and should not be lamented. Sorrow leads to happiness and should not be lamented. Stanza 2 consists of 4 lines. According to the poet, life's sunny hours flit by, which means life is moving ahead very fast, and thus instead of lamenting the sorrows and griefs, one should gratefully, cheerily enjoy those fast flying moments of life. To repeat, stanza 2 consists of 4 lines. According to the poet, life's sunny hours flit by, which means life is moving ahead very fast. And thus, instead of lamenting the sorrows and griefs, one should gratefully, cheerily enjoy those fast flying moments of life. Because here the thing is, every moment of life we have to make it as a possible to be in a happy, to be in happy and to be in joy. In the third stanza, the poet says in a rhetoric way that though the death make away our life during our best time, the most enjoyable time or the sorrows take over our hope. We should never lose the will and determination because hope has elastic springs. I already mentioned. If you are determined to become the great officer in your life, whatever the destiny or aim that you have decided to reach, to achieve, to get, you should not lose hope, because sometimes we should never lose the will and determination, because hope has elastic springs. It is making you to move forward and backward, move forward and backward. But When you are determined in your goal and destiny, it makes you to think in a positive way that you are moving in a proper direction to reach your destiny, to reach your aim, to reach your goal. It means that the hope is elastic and like the spring season, it can be bent by the sorrows or by the winter, but cannot be broken completely. Hope is like an elastic spring. Hope is like a sorrow or by the winter, but cannot be broken completely. See, it retains itself after the clouds of gloom go away when the winter goes away. It retains itself after the clouds of gloom go away. Just like think the clouds of gloom, maybe the problems, the difficulties, the financial crisis, the family relationship problems, the economic problems that most of the students will face, they are go away. But your decision must be about the goal that you have decided. So, and in the next line, the poet brings herself and says that though the sorrows and griefs have bent her down, or her hopes, she still has her golden wings, which are capable of being flying even after griefs bent them down. I repeat, the poet brings in herself and says that though the sorrows and griefs have bent her down, or her hopes, she still has her golden wings. See, APJ Abdul Kalam wrote, the wings of fire, giving reference to the youth of India. And I already mentioned while describing, explaining the poem, those who have imagination, they have golden wings to fly. So here, though the sorrow and grief makes you to suppress, to press downwards, but still think you have golden wings capable of being flying even after griefs bent them down. When sorrow and griefs are trying to bend you down, you have the golden wings to fly. That is the positivity in this poem. And the poet also tells that she can bear all the hurdles of life as she is manful, strong, and fearless. Unless we have determined in our life, unless we have strong will, unless we have courageous, unless we are fearless, we will come whatever the hurdles in our life will come. That is the positivity. Don't think, don't scare about the pandemic of COVID-19. Still there are much hope. When you are stay at home and stay safe, it is very safe to be at home in this pandemic situation. And you fear about the pandemic situation, about COVID-19. We can't do anything. Nothing is in our hands. But, but in your determination, you must be strong. You must be fearless. Whatever the hurdles that you will, which will come across in your life, you have to face them. Unless you have the positive attitude in your mind. And on the day of judgment, as believed in Christianity, her courage will make her victorious. I already mentioned there is a feeling, hope, or faith that the Christians will believe that there is a second coming of Jesus. And that day is called the day of judgment. On that day, on that day, the poet, if she will be courageous, she will be victorious on the day of judgment. She is not only telling about her feelings in this poem, she is guiding us. She is giving a message in this pandemic situation. She's she's making us to move forward with courage, with determination, with strong will, with hope. Thus, the poem ends with the strong will, hope, and determination that good will ultimately come to her. When you have hope and determination, it is very easy to achieve a goodness. To repeat, to hope and determination that good will ultimately come to her. When you are filled with hope and determination, good will come to you from any of the direction. God will help those who struggle. God will help those who struggle, but not those people. They simply sitting at home and thinking about nothing. Some students they are in dreams without thinking how to plan, what to do, where to go. Whenever I used to ask the students in the class, what you will do after your degree course, some students will say, I'll become MBA and I want to do business, I'll go for further studies. And some students, I'll think after the degree. But don't be in such a pessimistic mode. Please be determinative, please be hopeful, and everything good will come to you. In conclusion, we can see that the example of rain is the symbol of despair in the first stanza. Yet the poet asks us to see its bright side. Without the shower and without the shower and shine, I repeat, without a shower and sunshine, you will not feel the rain. Sorry, without the shower and sunshine, you will not experience the rainbow. If you want to feel a rainbow, if you want to see a rainbow in the sky, it is a mixture of combination of shower and sunshine. The other side, it may be despair, and the other side, it may be hope. Life is a mixture of sorrows and happiness. Life is a mixture of hope and despair. The thing is how you are controlling yourself, how you are making yourself to be strong and courageous in your life. The very simple thing is you must have positive and pessimistic attitude. Sorry, positive and optimistic attitude in your life. In the second stanza, she asks us to enjoy the fast running moments of life. In this third stanza, she becomes optimistic about being courageous even after her death. See the last sentence, she becomes optimistic about being courageous even after her death. We people believe, uh, take it as inspiration, sorry. We people may inspired by most of the national leaders, statesmen, spiritual leaders. Reason, even after their death, we take some inspiration from them. When I asked in the class, one of the students told she wants to take inspiration from Mother Teresa because she wants to do social service. And some people they gave example of Swami Vivekananda. What is the reason to take Vivekananda as an inspiration? Because he inspired youth with the positive attitude. He tells, arise awake and stop not till the goal you reach. So, to repeat that line, after her death, being courageous even after her death, means after death also some people live in this universe to give indirect inspiration to most of the people. And the explanation and the summary part of the poem life ends. Hope every one of you take it as a positive feeling, And here I gave some words from the text for your understanding. Glossary. Sage means, this is the word is in second line, wise person. Even we can call saint, sage, rishi. And the second word is foretell. To say what is going to happen, predict. To say what is going to happen in future. And the one more word is predict. Gloom, darkness, a feeling of happiness. Sorry, here the feeling of unhappiness, not happiness. Printing mistake. Gloom means darkness, a feeling of unhappiness. Transient means temporary, momentary. The problems which will come across in our life, they are temporary. They are momentary. They are pass away. They will go away. Bloom, flowers to open, mature, blossom. Mature, we can take this word to the student psychology. How you matured your life. Sorry, how you matured your psychology when you are taking certain decisions. And bloom means to open, to come out with new thoughts, new ideas, new opinions. And bloom, a blossom, a flower blossoms. And lament, cry, weep. Lament means cry, weep. And merry, happiness, cheerfulness. Happiness, cheerfulness. And Christians will greet on the Christmas day. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas means with so much of happiness and joy on the celebration of birthday celebrations of Jesus Christ. Sunny, bright, cheerful. And nowadays, most of the parents giving their children, especially the boys, sunny means bright, cheerful. I don't know. They know the meaning of the word sunny, but sunny means very cheerful and bright. Flit, fly, to pass quickly or abruptly. I uh, explain this. To flit means fly, gone away. To pass quickly or abruptly, to go quickly, to move quickly. Some problem is coming, it goes, no problem. The problem will not stay with you permanently. It moves. Sway, control, influence. Unconquered, undefeated. In all your lives, in all your lives, the students must be like a soldier, because life is a battle. We have to fight. We have to fight. We will not escape. We have to fight. See, the whole world is fighting with this COVID-19. Buoyant, able to float or rise to the surface of a liquid, resilient. Some of you might have using the bathing soap life buoy. Buoy means to float. Life means, you know what is life, what we have studied so far. Life buoy means the float. So when you are using a life buoy life buoy soap, you will float like anything and your feelings will be in some other place. So that is the meaning of the buoy, B-U-O-Y. I repeat, buoyant, able to float or rise to the surface of a liquid. The if you I'll take I may be right or wrong. If you keep some drop of oil on the water, it floats. Okay, that is buoyant, resilient. Manfully means courageously, with determination. Quell, stop, suppress, crush. When despair trying to suppress you, but you must come with positive feeling, determined feeling. And despair means to lose hope. And further reading, if winter comes, can spring be far behind? This is a famous line from poem titled Ode to the West Wind by P.V. Shelley. Most of the romantic poets, they mention the positivity in their poems, optimistic feelings in their poems. And here, the P.V. Shelley mentions, if winter comes, can spring be far behind? The way people experience so many types of seasons, we feel very dizzy, very sultry, very bad in summer, but we have a hope. After summer the rainy season will come. That is the positive attitude that we must have. And these are two questions for your practice, and this will come for essay type. And maybe the 12 to 12 marks, or sometimes the question paper will be different. It may be for 15 marks. Examine the attitude to life that the poet is recommending. And question two, examine the poet's view of life and how it differs from conventional wisdom. There is wisdom, and it is very hard to understand in this poem as a student of degree college. But the philosophy in this poem is everything is transient, but we have to be at every step with very happiness. We must fill with our feelings with happiness and joy. And there, the poem ends. Uh, Thank you very much. Stay home, stay safe.